A pleasant day to everyone. I am Noelyn A. Ingayan, a Master in Education Management student from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Manila, and a teacher in the Department of Education Schools Division of Pampanga. Before I proceed, I'd like to thank the International Multidisciplinary Conference on Current Research Trends 2020 for giving me the opportunity to virtually present my paper entitled Public School Teachers' Levels of Work-Related Stress, Job Satisfaction, and Job Performance. Many studies show that many teachers all around the world were reported to have series of crucial problems in terms of physical and psychological health. In fact, the number of suicide cases among teachers increased between 2008, involving 35 teachers, and 2009, involving 63 teachers. These figures evidently show that among all occupations, suicide among teachers is 30 to 40% higher. Recently, the Philippine News reported that there were some cases of suicide involving public school teachers related to too much pressure and depression from the gazillion of paperwork a public school teacher must all require to pass, aside from doing the main line of work, which is to teach. In line with this, the researcher was encouraged to conduct a study to determine and find out the teacher's levels of work-related stress, job satisfaction, job performance, and describe the correlation of the teacher's level of work-related stress to their job performance and their level of job satisfaction to their job performance. This study is descriptive in nature and involves 167 teachers who have participated in the survey conducted by the researcher. It mainly focused on the municipality of Minalin, Pampanga in the academic year 2017 to 2018. Basically, this study has five statement of the problems, which will be discussed one by one with their findings and conclusion. The first statement of the problem is, what is the level of teachers' work-related stress in terms of the following? Demands, control, support, relationship, and change. These factors were indicated by the Health and Safety Executive in 2006 as the categories of substantive factors that can be recognized as indicators of stress related to work. The first one, the related work or work-related stress in terms of demand, teachers were found to be mostly stressed with the unreasonable deadlines and time pressures imposed on them, and least slightly stressed with improper break time during school days. Generally, teachers were indicated as stressed by the overall weighted mean of 2.51. In terms of control, teachers were mostly stressed with the factor of neglecting major tasks because of too many things to do, and least slightly stressed with lack of encouragement to use skills and initiative to work. Generally, they feel slightly stressed as reflected in the overall mean of 2.42. In terms of support, teachers were mostly stressed with lack of financial assistance for room structuring, room repairs, school beautification, and were least slightly stressed with does not benefit for effective leadership. Teachers were generally slightly stressed as reflected in the overall mean of 2.28. In terms of relationship, they were mostly stressed with stressful daily dealings with disruptive students and least slightly stressed with not in good relationship with school head. Teachers were generally slightly stressed as indicated by the overall mean of 2.17. In terms of their roles and responsibilities or duties, teachers were mostly stressed in having overloaded paperwork and least slightly stressed with not well-utilized skills. Teachers were generally stressed as reflected in the overall mean of 2.56. In terms of change, Teachers were mostly stressed in the insufficiency of learning materials, such as books, modules, and other learning paraphernalia, and least likely stressed with no introduction of new initiatives, daunting and no full staff consultation when any significant change is proposed. Teachers were generally stressed as indicated by the mean of 2.50. As a whole, teachers' level of work-related stress is moderate. The second statement of the problem is, what is the level of job satisfaction among teachers in terms of psychological needs, safety and, sorry, physiological needs, safety and security, sense of belongingness and love, esteem, and self-actualization. These were all anchored from Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which were used to determine possible significant relationships to satisfaction levels for both teachers and their respective school performance. In terms of their physiological needs, teachers were mostly moderately satisfied with properly ventilated and lighted rooms, and were least satisfied with particular room or place where teachers or personnel can rest. They were generally satisfied to a moderate extent, as indicated by the overall mean of 3.23. The level of job satisfaction in terms of safety and security needs, teachers were found to be mostly satisfied to a good extent with accessibility of school's location to public transportation, and were least satisfied to a moderate extent with availability of regular school physician and or nurse, and sufficient salary to all family necessities and work demands. They were generally satisfied to a moderate extent, as indicated by the overall mean of 3.23. In terms of belongingness and love needs, teachers were mostly satisfied with cooperativeness of colleagues in terms of work, activities, and leisure, and were least satisfied with free from social discrimination. They were generally satisfied to a good extent, as indicated by the overall mean of 3.79. In terms of esteem, teachers were mostly satisfied with the superior's praising or commendation for a job well done, and were least satisfied with competitive salary and expectations relevant to qualification and experiences. They were generally satisfied to a moderate extent, as indicated by the overall mean of 3.43. In terms of self-actualization, teachers were mostly satisfied with treating teachers as persons with integrity, and were least satisfied with fulfilling all the required skills, knowledge, competencies, and responsibilities at work. They are generally satisfied to a good extent, as indicated by the overall mean of 3.78. As a whole, teachers' level of job satisfaction is satisfied to a good extent. The third statement of the problem is, what is the level of teachers' job performance in terms of their individual performance and commitment review form, or IPCRF? According to the findings, 82% of the teachers have very satisfactory job performance, 17% have outstanding level, and 6% has satisfactory level. This means that majority of the teachers' level of job performance is high. Most have a very satisfactory rating or performance rating. The first statement of the problem is there any significant relationship between work-related stress and level of teachers' job performance? According to the findings, we can conclude that there is no significant relationship between the work-related stress and job performance of teachers. The fifth statement of the problem is there any significant relationship between work satisfaction and level of teachers' job performance? Based on the findings, we can conclude that there is no significant relationship between the job satisfaction and job performance of teachers. As for the recommendations, for the teacher's work-related stress, the researcher would like to suggest the following. School calendars should be planned well with proper and even distribution of workload. It should also be disseminated properly to all teachers. Another one is school rules be regularly reviewed by all students, teachers, non-teaching personnel, and parents or guardians with proper implementation. As for the result of the teacher's job satisfaction, the following are suggested. A regular physician or nurse be assigned to stay within the school premises, or schools should always have a constant coordination with the town's health center nearest to them in case of emergencies. Also, there should be a particular cozy room for teachers to rest should be provided, especially for teachers who are not feeling well. And in addition to that, seminars to educate teachers on how to properly manage their finances and live within their means is also important if salary increase is not possible as of the present time. The third recommendation is that it is suggested that authorities and other higher-ups in the department look into the factors that motivate teachers to perform at a very satisfactory and outstanding level and give them more emphasis to be continued in the teachers' practices or activities in order to maintain or even uplift the quality of their service. It is also suggested that the department look into the factors that need to be improved so that teachers may exceed their performance level for the attainment of their goals that would best serve their clientele. The fourth recommendation is that though work-related stress among teachers does not affect their job performance directly, it is still suggested that schools set an activity once in a while to divert teachers from repetitive routines. It is also suggested that such activities will be conducted by an external organization to avoid too much familiarity nor give additional burden to work for teachers. The fifth recommendation is that though job satisfaction among teachers doesn't really affect their job performance directly, it is still further suggested that individual commendation of each teacher's strong points in serving be properly addressed publicly or privately between him or her and his or her superiors. In this way, teachers may feel that their efforts and work are well appreciated and thus will continue to serve even better with proper motivation. And the sixth recommendation is that the researcher would like to recommend the other series of seminars be conducted concerning the factors that contribute to the teacher's level of performance in order to address the crucial needs of teachers, students, and of the organization as a whole. With that, thank you for listening and thank you for taking time to consider this paper as a helpful material that could also be applied in your institution if you are in the department, if you are in the education sector. Thank you very much. And again, good day and God bless everyone.